HMS Australia was one of 7 Orlando-class armored cruisers built for the Royal Navy in the mid-1880s. She was assigned to the Mediterranean Fleet in 1889 and remained there until 1893 when she returned home. The ship was assigned to the Coast Guard Squadron for the next decade before she was placed in reserve in 1903. Australia was sold for scrap in 1905. Australia had a length between perpendiculars of 300 feet, 91.4 meters, a beam of 56 feet, 17.1 meters, and a draft of 24 feet, 7.3 meters. Designed to displace 5,040 long tons, 5,120 t, all of the Orlando-class ships proved to be overweight and displaced approximately 5,535 long tons, 5,624 t. The ship was powered by a pair of 3-cylinder triple-expansion steam engines, each driving one shaft, which were designed to produce a total of 8,500 indicated horsepower, 6,300 kilowatts, and a maximum speed of 18 knots, 33 kilometers per hour, 21 miles per hour, using steam provided by 4 boilers with forced draft. During her sea trials, Australia reached 18.8 knots, 34.8 kilometers per hour, 21.6 miles per hour. The ship carried a maximum of 900 long tons, 910 t, of coal, which was designed to give her a range of 8,000 nautical miles, 15,000 kilometers, 9,200 miles, at a speed of 10 knots, 19 kilometers per hour, 12 miles per hour. The ship's complement was 484 officers and ratings. Australia's main armament consisted of 2 breech-loading, BL, 9.2-inch, 234mm, MKV guns, 1 gun fore and aft of the superstructure on pivot mounts. Her secondary armament was 10 BL 6-inch, 152mm, guns, 5 on each broadside. Protection against torpedo boats was provided by 6 quick-firing, QF, 6-pounder Hotchkiss guns and 10 QF 3-pounder Hotchkiss guns, most of which were mounted on the main deck in broadside positions. The ship was also armed with 6 18-inch, 457mm, torpedo tubes, 4 on the broadside above water and 1 each in the bow and stern below water. The ship was protected by a waterline compound armor belt 10 inches, 254mm, thick. It covered the middle 200 feet, 61.0 meters, of the ship and was 5 feet 6 inches, 1.7 meters, high. Because the ship was overweight, the top of the armor belt was 2 feet, 0.61 meters, below the waterline when she was fully loaded. The ends of the armor belt were closed off by transverse bulkhead 16 inches, 406 millimeters. The lower deck was 2 to 3 inches, 51 to 76 millimeters, thick over the full length of the hull. The conning tower was protected by 12 inches, 305 millimeters, of armor. Australia, named for the Australian continent, was laid down on April 21, 1885 by Robert Napier and Sons at their shipyard in Govan, Glasgow. The ship was launched on November 25, 1886, and completed on December 11, 1888. Shortly after commissioning, she was assigned to the Mediterranean Fleet and remained there until 1893 when she participated in the Columbian Review held in New York City that year to commemorate the 400th anniversary of Columbus' discovery of the New World. Upon her return home, Australia became the Coast Guard ship for Southampton water for the next decade. Captain Charles Henry Adair was briefly in command from November 1899 to January 1900, when Captain George Neville was appointed in command on January 20, 1900. She escorted the royal yacht HMY Osborne when Queen Victoria visited Ireland in April 1900, and in September the following year she visited Germany and Denmark when she escorted the royal yacht carrying King Edward VII from Hamburg to Elsinore. She took part in the Fleet Review held at Spithead on August 16, 1902 for the coronation of King Edward VII. Captain Charles Home Cochrane was appointed in command on November 24, 1902, but the ship was placed in reserve at Chatham Dockyard in early 1903, before being sold for scrap on April 4, 1905.